Hi everybody, it's me, it's Missy here. I decided tonight was the night I was going to make some candles. I have been having this project hanging over my head for the better part of, I don't even know, a couple weeks now at least. I usually make these at Christmas time, but I just need to do this for a special project. So here we are. Good to see you all. I just decided, let me just go ahead. This is one of my big projects. I'm a tad nervous if you can't tell. But anyway, making candles, all right? First thing we need is wax, of course. You can find wax like this at just about any craft store. This is from my personal collection of wax that I purchased, so I'm not getting any sort of endorsement from having the wax out from anywhere in particular, but I do have that. You need the wax. You need wicks. You can find these again at most craft stores, usually in the same section. You need things to hold the wicks with. I have here these professional grade kind of thingies for this kind of matter of putting them like that, but truth be told, I've used a pencil before. If I do get a notion to make bigger, to make larger candles, I would usually use a pencil or a pen or something like that, something round that you can wrap it around, which I will get into more why we need it. You also need certain instruments. You need a double boiler to boil the wax. You need a thermometer, and you need some kind of molds. I'm going to be using these little tea light molds for the project I'm going to be doing tonight. There are some candles in there, but I'm about to show you as soon as the water starts boiling, I'm fixing to show you a quick and easy way to get rid of that. I like doing candle making because it's an easy thing to do once you learn how. It allows you to, I like to give them out as gifts to my friends. And I mean, the advantage is it's fun, and if we ever have another hurricane, which we will, candles are of course very necessary in case there is, heaven forbid, a power outage. So there's that. And you also need, if you decide to color the wax, you need dyes. This is a pouch of dyes I've collected. We'll get more on that in a second. And then you need fragrances. When you become a candle maker, you will eventually have a literal plethora of fragrances. I buy these on the internet, on Amazon constantly, so definitely something you want to have. I also would recommend having a glue gun. I'll show you what we'll use that for in a second, and some tongs. And something else you're going to need, I'm going to do this right here. You're going to need paper towels to put them on. One thing about wax, anything involving wax, it's messy. It's going to be messy. You need to own that stuff and just put out a lot of paper towels, because you don't want to mess up your kitchen with these things. So, first thing you want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you're going to want to make sure that your wax, if you're going to use molds, you want to make sure that they're as clean as possible, and there's a quick and easy way to square. If you're doing it properly, there's a quick and easy way to square that away. You just take them, put them in while you're warming up your, the longest part of the process is always going to be getting the water to boil. So that should take a little while. It's still not up to it yet. You see what I'm doing basically. It's hot water. Wax melts in hot water. So you're just gonna, once it gets sufficiently hot, oh, there we are. Easy peasy. And you want to get that wick out. So here we go. Theoretically, I could just throw them in, all of them. I'm using these particular tea lights because I have a special project. I have an old votive collection that I really haven't used in the past, I don't know, and I'm thinking about putting it to use again as a decoration, but it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me to use votives and not also have some candles in them, even if you really don't intend to light them. I tend to make my candles for the purpose of lighting them. You just get these, because they're clean. Here you go. Get some paper towels. This is something you definitely do not want to use your cloth towels for. Because once you get wax in cloth towels, you will never get them out, I guarantee. So we're waiting for the water to boil, and in the meantime, I will go ahead and get these little tea lights ready to go. I like to use soy for candles because they, it's relatively inexpensive. It's fairly plentiful. It's safe. It's the healthiest, as far as I know. It's easy to use, and because I have, that's just a mold. I have tried paraffin, and paraffin I do like to use. Paraffin, when it comes out in a very light color once it finally dries, but when you burn a candle that's made of paraffin, it comes out with the prettiest color. So I tend to use that. The problem with paraffin is that it, when it does start to burn in a candle, well, apparently it can cause cancer. So that's why I don't use it. I have tried it, and I used to love it. I mean, I used to have a set of bath candles that I would light from time to time, and I had nothing but paraffin because they were so pretty the way they burn. But I just said, nah, we're not going there. Once I found out the cancer risk. So at any rate, that water is still boiling. So the next thing we need to do is put wicks in all of these. I have, like I said, some store-bought wicks. You can find these at any craft store. So what you want to do, forgive me if it seems like I'm having to behave weirdly as far as outlets are concerned. We have a little bit of an outlet issue, so excuse me, I didn't realize this is uncouth. So we use the glue gun to set the wicks in place. So I'll just wait till that guy heats up. I will get these little mold holders. And there's that. Okay, so I need 5 of them. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take, as soon as it's warm, oh, that's going to get too warm. I'm afraid I need to have some little time to do this. But anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? It's Monday. Did everybody have a nice weekend? Yeah, I had a nice weekend. Melissa, how about yours? Oh, mine was fine. It was beautiful. If anything, I did really not enjoy having to start my Monday today, and it was a Monday. It was a classic Monday, but it's over. And now we get to just spend time doing things we enjoy, like making some candles. So here we are. Take the little wicks, put the glue gun on it and just stick it there like that. As I said, you can use pencils to do this. The bottom line is you want to have it so they become as, that one did not go right, but we'll just use another one. I have a lot of them. You want to make sure that they come out as taut as possible, because you can be putting hot wax in there. These things are covered in wax, and they're basically string and metal. What's going to happen when you put hot wax on them? They're going to melt. So you want to make sure that they have enough support to stand as you would like them to. Let's try that, shall we? Yes. Okay, that guy's got some glue on him, so let's just use this guy to stand him up straight. Do the same thing with him. I got into making candles about, I'd say about 4 years ago I got into it. I was deciding I wanted to make everybody's holiday gifts that year. So I was walking around a craft store and I said, you know what? Candles, that'd be fun to make. Everybody likes candles. And here we are now. Now I actually have several different signature scents that I use and several different signature colors that I use. So it's just a matter of finding your hobby. And I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna bother. Here's the last one. I'm just gonna make 5 because that's all the votives. That's all they'll hold. And you have those. Put these on them. Okay. When you're making candles, you want to make sure that you always have nearby something to put any excess wax in, because it's a pretty safe bet you're going to have them. I've got to have something somewhere. I'll just use this guy. This might actually force me to use these. I do make them, a lot of mine out of little tins. And those became very hard to find at Christmas. I had to go to 3 different craft stores. I won't name the one I go to, but I had to go to 3 different craft stores to find them because I decided last year was the time I was going to unveil my collection and to give them out as gifts, and it worked, sort of worked out. But anyhow, I'm wondering if this is going to be enough wax. I have a whole separate thing of it, but I honestly don't know. Another thing is, when you do create, if you do decide to get into candle making, you're going to have to create your own kit. Your kit will probably expand every single time you go to the craft store, because when the minute you hit the candle section, you'll find something else that you need. Also, of course, as you might guess, you can find pretty much anything that I'm using here tonight on Amazon. So that's something else to consider if you have a notion to start making candles. Another thing about paraffin I should mention. A few years ago, I had one of those paraffin wax baths. I don't know if any of you know about them, but I have one for my bathroom that I used to dip my hands in, and it uses paraffin. Whatever you do, do not use paraffin that is not specified for a paraffin bath in a paraffin bath. If you do and you put your hands in there, you will never experience a sensation of heat like you do at that point. Oh my God. I started screaming. My poor husband thought I was having a heart attack because of the way I was screaming about that. So listen to the voice of experience. If you do decide to make, paraffin candles, use the paraffin only for the designated purposes on the label. I'm gonna go ahead and pour in. I can hear it starting to boil. So I'm gonna I hope that's enough. Part of me thinks it will be, because I'm only making 5 and they're rather small. And one thing you notice when you start making candles is, again, you will always have a little extra waste. So it's just something to consider. So one thing to always have in your candle making kit is this little spoon right here. Again, you can find these at most hobby stores. Because now I'm using the double boiler to melt the wax. Another nice thing about soy is the temperature you need to get it melted is not excruciatingly high. So I've thought about trying to get into beeswax, but honestly, well, I need a source. I'm also, if those of you know me, I'm also working on learning to become a beekeeper. So hopefully at some point I'll have a video for you about beekeeping. Tonight I'm definitely gonna need more. I'm definitely gonna need more, yeah. You watch me say that, and then 15 minutes from now you're like, oh yeah, she used too much. Yeah, well, the nice thing about too much is you can just drop it in something else and it's wax. And if worse was worse, you can just remelt it. If that's not enough, there's something wrong with the world. And we're melting it for two reasons, obviously, to pour in, and we have to have a designated temperature to actually add color. I honestly don't know if I'm going to tonight. We will see, because I'm just going to be using these for votives, so we shall see about that. As far as color, yeah, as far as the melting the wax is concerned, most candle making guides will tell you to use a double boiler. I have seen and heard of people using a microwave to boil wax. I don't recommend doing that. First of all, as I've also pointed out, making candles is messy. Do you really want that in the microwave, the same microwave you're going to use the next morning to reheat your coffee? Come on now. Anywho, it looks like the wax is starting to melt rather nicely. See, I don't know if you can see that, but if I do anything, I'll get some on the floor, and that will not be a good thing. Okay, now it's melted. There we are. Let's see about the temperature. Here is my candle thermometer. First thing let's do is clean it off. If you need to clean wax off anything, you can always use that boiling water. Let's see here. That will elevate the temperature somewhat. For soy, they recommend 130 to 140. I'm already at that, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Now that would be your temperature to add any color if you're going to. Now there's two different types of color. There are these little wax squares that you can use. You can find these at most craft stores or order them on whatever service you have for delivery. And they come in all different colors. If you buy them from in a set, definitely consider that. You also have the liquid color. I recommend using the wax ones. Yes, it's a tad, you have to sit there and play with it in the wax to get it to completely wax. But the thing is, the nice thing about the waxes is you do not have the possibility of leaking in your candle making kit, because you will have a lot of liquids in here, and you want to make sure that you don't have any spills if you can at all help it. I probably am going to need to get some extra storage for that in the next couple of weeks. So as far as fragrances are concerned, we need to wait till the wax gets down to about 135 before we go. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to do them the straight clear color that they are, because it's just easier. And I probably need to consider getting a digital. Yeah, it's still a little too hot. So it gives you a chance to talk a little bit. I should be getting a digital thermometer at some point, but haven't as of yet. But anyhow, let's see what else do I want to do with those. What scent do I want to use while we're waiting? I have a collection here of different types of scents. I don't even know what this is because the label fell off because some purple dye I had in there gave out. But I have one here called Fireplace Embers that smells really nice. I got the inspiration from this writing Spaceship Earth at Epcot one time. I said, we all know the scene. Rome falls to the flames of excess. That one. But anyway, I have peony. I have coffee. I got coffee because one of my colleagues loves coffee. So I'm going to make her a Christmas gift this year with that. I have here Lanique Gardenia, Christmas tree. I have here lavender. I have evergreen forest. I have Fuji apple. I have clean cotton. I have One that's actually called, believe it or not, New Car. I just thought, why not? Because I'll get a notion to try weird fragrances and say, hey, let's try that. So I think because we're going to be using these in the bathroom, I should probably go with Baby Fresh. Make like a baby powder scent. Let's see, under 135 yet? Not yet. Anyhow, I'm really going to be sore if that's not enough. I don't know if I'm going to burn these. I may just keep them there because, honestly, a fire hazard, what have you. I mean, where I have the candles that I use in the bath now, it's kind of an area where it really isn't going to be the possibility of burning anything else up. But, you know, when you're using votives, you have to be very, very careful. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see again. Da, 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 da. Maybe we should do this. That might make it a little more accurate. Okay. Alrighty, we're there. So I'm just going to apply this very liberally. Yeah, I have one friend for certain who is a car enthusiast. I think I'm going to try New Car with her. Yes, and when this is over, I will be scrubbing this down because this is our regular kitchen stove. But, so just pour it in. Okay, just pour it in as liberally as possible. If you like these videos, I will start investing in a way to make them differently. Now, obviously, I do not have the skill of some. I have some friends who have incredible skills, and if you're watching this, holla. But I'm not to their level yet, and my goal is just to make something people like. People have different favorite scents, favorite colors, so that's my goal here, is just make something people will like and maybe use. See what I tell you. Oh, you'll have more. You won't have enough, Missy. You won't have enough. Well, guess what? I did. This is gonna, okay. So what am I gonna do with the rest? I guess I'll just pour it in here for now. Use it as a fragrance disc. Or maybe just take it out and use that particular candle container for another candle. So, anywho, I will show you a video. This obviously is going to take about 15 minutes or so. You'll start to see where they'll hold their shape, at which time we no longer have to worry about these little guards that keep the wick standing. Again, you want to keep these as taut as possible, because and if you're using like a pillar mold or whatever, that becomes very challenging. I tried with pillar molds in the past, and things just didn't happen for me there. So, you know, just it's a fun little hobby. And if you're my friend and we're on each other's Christmas card list, if you like candles, let me know and I'll make you some. And if you're interested in them, let me know. But anyhow, this is my little hobby, making candles, and I'm just sharing with you, hoping you guys all have a great night, and I look forward to working with you again soon on other projects. You have a fantastic night. Take care.